Good afternoon, everyone. We're Team 3, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the case. And first thing I want to start with, every firm says they value integrity, but that's until profit comes into play. Now, BLM, subsidiary of Banco Libertad, they manage $90 billion in assets, but they created revenue, but at a great cost. They weakened their everything, really. They got rid of all ethics. They created conflicts of interest. They had poor disclosure, and they had very weak oversight. Now, let's get into the ethics.
Before we dive deep into ethics, let's talk about the key changes that Ribeiro, the chief investment officer, did. So he introduced a CID account to all his clients, and basically clients were charged an AUM, a fee that was based on their asset under management, and this is excluding the mutual fund fees that they had to pay. Second, they shifted the base salary to 25%, with 75% of it being variable. And third, there was a Prodigia deal that was worth like $5 million, where Prodigia incentivized that BIM invest in class, so that invest in class A and C shares, instead of in class A and C shares. So now I'm gonna dive deep into the ethical violations committed by each member in BLAM. So talking about advisor Diego, the key thing he did is like late trading, and also the use of material non-public information. Basically, he used information that he got from a fund manager called Lopez and used that for his own trades, but also for his clients. And for the chief investment Ribeiro, he actually even acknowledged it, basically even said in the case study, that's a great idea. He used that also, and also enabled that enabled misconduct, and took advantage of it and took forward and ignored basically that this is illegal.
Yes, and with Diego and Bianchi, they systematically steer the clients to a more costly shares, and they were forcing the clients by having a secret chart inside of their company, and it's trying to force them to buy the more expensive class A and C shares, and instead of the identical but much cheaper class W. And with Bianchi specific, it's creating a conflict of interest while forcing the clients, and they're just trying to make all the clients to changing to a CID based account, and they're even buying and holding the rarely traded investors.
Now we move to the impact and the consequences. And our key stakeholder number one is the clients, but they are the non-Prodigia Latin America fund. So these clients were put in a class in a class size share, which was quite expensive, despite W being there. So they were really limited in their option, and they ended up paying much more than they should have paid. Then for the clients in the Prodigia Latin America Foreign Fund, these clients were really exposed to trades which was influenced by insider information, and their risk then was quite higher, and this led to a biased fund recommendation by the advisors. Then for the BL management and board, they didn't manage their advisors properly because they were playing pay to play with the 5 million that they got from the Latin America fund. So they were incentivizing the advisors to do their advice in an unethical way. Then for advisor Diego and Tim, they shared material non-public information with the fund manager, and they also engaged in after-hours trading, and they really breached the trust which was given upon them by the clients. And for the regulators, this led to them investigating and launching an ethics and trading inquiry upon Blim, and they ended up imposing sanctions and oversight. And for the last one, the Prodigia and portfolio manager Lopez, they enabled preferential trading access for the clients which were investing more than 100,000, and for those that were not investing more than 100,000, they did have a sort of a limited trading access. So that alone, sharing the material non-public information with advisor Diego, really damaged the fund credibility and trust.
So now let's get into applying the CFA ethical decision-making framework. First step, we need to identify the issue. We need to define the conflict, and we need to see how it affects our stakeholders. Next, we need to evaluate alternative options. We need to assess the consequences, and we need to ask for our peers' input. Third, we need to consider relevant principles. We need to make sure we always apply the CFA code and standards, and make sure we always put our clients' needs first. And last, we need to make sure we act on the decision. We need to be transparent with our customers, and we need to document and process everything. And integrity is the most important thing in everything. And in order to do this, we need to stop the misconduct immediately. We need to get rid of all of the cancer staff, such as the ones getting the insider trading information. We need to freeze the late trading, and we need to preserve the evidence for review. We need to separate the conflicted relationships. We need to establish the firewalls. We need to make sure we get rid of all contact with Lopez, and we need to make sure we get the personal clear trades gone. And last, we need to get our clients and protect them transparently. We need to get all clients to the lowest cost shares with full disclosure. And for the graph, I just did a little stabilize operations. We need to eliminate conflicts of interest, and last, rebuild client confidence.
So at the end of the day, the key takeaway is that integrity really builds reputation, and reputation leads ultimately to trust. So at the end of the day, we need to be honest. And in the future, I think the Blim advisors and management really needs to ensure that whatever is done by the advisors has professionalism in it. And in conclusion, we need to uphold the code of ethics and the standard product of the standard conduct as well.
A business is only as good as their leader. Therefore, we need the top leaders at the head. Thank you.
Kind of picking up off where one good presentation, kind of picking off where you ended about the leader. With Ribeiro as the leader, what are some of some of the oversights, and what could he have changed differently to as a supervisor?
I think that he could have reacted differently to the violations that Diego did, the advisor, the senior advisor. Once he heard about the material non-public information that he used for his own trades, I think that he should he should set a standard, for all advisors, all employees, that committing these violations is not
It's unacceptable.
allowed. It's unacceptable, yes. It's unacceptable, and I mean, it didn't happen in the case, but basically, yeah, you should definitely do that.
Jenny, you mentioned that you didn't like that push to annuitize a lot of clients, especially buy and hold clients. Maybe give me your thoughts on the overall the schedule of the annuitization that they were trying to do. They were trying to put their biggest clients, I think, first in Q1 and Q2, pushing some families later, some family accounts. What are your thoughts on that schedule, and And I think you summed up, but maybe tell me about, why should you annuitize some clients and not some others?
Yeah, so that is like prioritizing, right? So they're prioritizing some of them and trying to put like by, so as you say, like the family accounts at the back. So that is a way of trying to, how do I state this? Like, yeah, I think this is just a way of prioritizing some of that.
They're just trying to make sure who they want to get paid more is getting paid first, basically.
Does it harm any of the
Yes.
clients that
It
continue
harm-
to pay retail commissions?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it harms the clients, specifically the income-based clients that don't execute that many trades a year. So that annual fee basically hurts them because it's a one-time fee. But compared to the clients that are executing multiple trades a year, so yeah, for the income-based clients, like family income-based clients, they're getting affected.
Yeah, and as I said in the presentation, so it's like buy and hold, like the rarely traded ones. So those people are the mainly affected individuals or groups of this annualized stuff.
One more thing to add is that they're sort of forcing their clients to buy Class A and Class C shares. Class A and Class C is also much more higher compared to the Class W. Class W was still open, but they're forcing all the clients to invest in Class A and Class C. So that's hurting all the clients.
How does that harm them?
Because
Well-
it's just like, for example, you got two apples. One is more expensive, one is less expensive, but it's just that one is from the United States and one is from Canada. So why not you just buy the cheap one, get the same price, and get the same result, and you have to buy the more expensive one. So that is a way that is harming the clients overall.
How come the A shares and the C shares are more expensive?
I think it's based on the structure.
It's based on the asset under management. The if it's more than, I think, 10 million for clients that are valued that have more than 10 million on assets under management, they have to pay. They're like obliged to pay for the Class A and Class C shares. If it was 10 million or 25.
From a practicality viewpoint, Ribeiro, what he was doing is more like those that are on the left tail, they are not paying much when we come to percentage-based fee because they have fewer amount of assets under management. So they're going to pay a less fee. So if we then put a higher fee on the mutual fund, they're going to pay quite like what they really want to that. So I think those which were on the right tail with quite a number of high amounts in asset under management, when they're paying a percentage-based fee, they're already paying higher. So when it comes to fee, they have to reduce that so that it won't be much. But then for those on the left tail, they have to pay much so that they won't pay less fee to the investment management company.
Okay, thank you.
Does BL need to disclose the Prodigia agreement, and if they do, what should they disclose to clients?
The first thing that they have to disclose is, I think they have to disclose the 5 million that they were getting from the fund in regard to the people that would have subscribed to A and C shares. So I think that they have to disclose that they are moving the people to A and C, but they're incentivized for doing such.
That's all I got.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
thank you.
All right, good.